get very overstimulated and anxious because I'm very sensitive to that adrenaline. So all these factors come into play, like certain mutations. If you're hardwired to never convert vitamin D to the form your body needs, you need to take the pre-activated form. But things like let me put it this way. Ben Lynch is right regarding things that are cycles or networks of different things. But when there's more linear pathways, A to B to C to D, and that's pretty much the pathway. If you can't convert B into C, that's a genetic hardwiring. You need to take more of C, right? This way, genetics is the genetic code. That protein you make, that MTHFR protein you make based on the gene, it will always be mutated, always. But how much of it are you making? How much is being expressed? So you methylate the genes to turn them on or off to make more or less of them. So seasonal depression, for example, less sunlight, you make less of the genes that make serotonin and dopamine. That's one of the main drivers of seasonal depression. So the vitamin D regulates that. That's why you take vitamin D. It can help with seasonal depression. So methylation, one of the main purposes is to turn the genes on and off, make more or less of these proteins, the workhorses of your cells. Another main function is to make neurotransmitters. So it's also used to make glutathione. So one thing that happens is that when you have inflammation in the body or oxidative stress in the body, your body will make more homocysteine, which is used to make glutathione to fight these things off. But then you may not have as much methylation ingredients to make your neurotransmitters. That's why sometimes you're inflamed, you get brain fog, you can't make as much neurotransmitters. You can't heal yourself and turn the right genes on and off because your cells are dedicating everything, all the methylation, towards making that glutathione. And what happens with people is homocysteine goes up. Most people think homocysteine, when it's high, I mean, it's too high or too low is bad, but most of the time it's too high for people. It raises up because your body is trying to make glutathione. You have the homocysteine, which is used to make the glutathione, but maybe you're missing the ingredients. Maybe you're missing the selenium. Maybe you're missing the vitamin C. So your body's pooling the homocysteine there, which can cause a lot of blood vessel issues, heart disease, a lot of these other things. So again, the methylation overall to turn the genes on and off, to make neurotransmitters, to make glutathione. These are the main functions of the methylation cycle. And it's a cycle after all. So which step isn't working as well? There's probably around a dozen genes or so mainly involved in the methylation cycle that can be mutated in many different areas. So this is why people come to me, yeah, I got MTHFR checked. I'm like, okay, cool. That's telling us basically nothing. Yet people build full protocols just around one gene, which to me doesn't make any sense. Histamine is a neurotransmitter that our body makes. It wakes us up. It makes us alert. It's also involved in dilating blood vessels. So people think of histamine as just being involved with allergies. Well, high histamine can be linked to brain fog, anxiety, depression, psoriasis, eczema. During inflammation, your cells release histamine as well. So your brain's making its own histamine just for you to function, affect your mood. During inflammation, you also release histamine. So this is why too high of histamine from a food, it can feel kind of like you're infected with something. There's other bad stuff released during actual infections aside from just histamine, but you can feel that kind of, I call it the blah, blah feeling overall. Wired but tired, headaches, brain fog. A lot of the time it has to do with histamine. Histamine is a vasodilator. It dilates blood vessels. What is POTS?